and welcome to my channel, A Unique Treasure. I am really excited again to be here and do our second step process of putting our signatures into our cover that we are going to make. So hopefully it will all go well and we can do this all in one video. But if I see that it becomes too long, I will break it at some point and we will pick up next Sunday. You know, I just want to go over and reiterate to you that the main reason for this video is that I want people to come in and not just make ephemera. I love it. I did it myself. I was so not confident and wasn't real sure about how to make a cover. Cutting, I'm horrible at cutting and things like that. So I had to figure out ways and things that would make it such a simple process that I enjoyed it. So, you know, the production, the lighting, and all that is not the main point of this video. The main point of this video is that I love to give people hope, put people at ease, and hopefully help those that have lost the happiness and joy of hope, making journals, or lost their confidence or never got it or wasn't sure where to start. I'm hoping that where I come in at is to help you get started on that process because I am so excited. Like I I just don't even know what to tell you as far as how, I wish I could unzip you and put in you my excitement and joy to come into your homes, to your computer, and to make journals and do things with you that we all love. So let's go over some things. I decided I didn't want to put some blurb up there of what you need because you can pause this video 100 times and do what you need to do to stop and get what you got to get. That is different that I'm going to tell you that you should have, it's really important, is one of these. And these will poke holes in things much faster than trying to force a dull needle. So this is one I recently purchased. This is one my mom uses. And I like this because I can grab it better than this little skinny one and like really put some pressure to it. Because I find that if I make the holes before I string the twine or whatever you decide to use, which we'll go over in a minute, through paper, it's much faster and easier. So I really, really suggest you have one of these, or when we get to that point, you can figure out what you're going to use if you want to just sit there and, physically try to put that through yourself, put the hole in. So those are two things that I suggest you have, something that can make holes, small ones. And then your favorite glue. So I'm going to go over these real quick. I love this glue. I use it for almost everything except for fabric on fabric. I find that for me, it doesn't work too good. It doesn't stick fast enough. So fabric to paper, yes, I will use this glue. This is my all-time favorite. It's not cheap glue, but it does last if you keep the lid on it immediately because it'll gunk up so quick because it dries fast. The 3-in-1 Beacon, this glue will do fabric to fabric in an instant. So that is something I always keep handy. But this is my go-to glue because it's less expensive, and this one is for special things that this one won't do. Okay, and this one is my favorite glue of all time. No matter what, hands down, I will never stop using this glue unless they stop making it for paper. I love this glue to put paper to paper, little gems on paper, things like that, but I do not use this for fabric. Okay, so that's the glue. So now let's talk about this white little pencil here. This little white pencil is for dark fabric. So if I need to make lines, which I do, I need to, or where I need to put my holes, or where I need to draw a line for measurements, so that I'm in line with things. You definitely need to have something that can write on dark fabric, like so. So if I used a pencil or something, I'd have a heck of a time trying to see it on here, but this shows up really nicely, and it will go away. Okay, so that that's something that if you're using dark fabric today, you definitely want something that you can write on it. Chalk does this. Chalk does just as well. And I always like to have one of these around because I use this thing for so much. You should see it's like it was brand new when I had it, and it's like, you know, it's got glue. It's starting to get war paint on it, I guess. So this is a really nice thing to have a bone so that it will. This one is good. It's okay. Credit card's even better than this one. But sometimes you really want that crease in there in the paper. And since I'm working with paper that is like heavy duty, you know, brown paper bag stuff, but it's heavier than normal cardstock, I think. I do need those types of things to make it so that it's got a really good crease in it and it's easy to, you know, get through. When I say get through, I mean like I need this so really nice and crisp that when I poke a hole through it, I'm not fighting it. So this is like making it really super nice and crisp and thin. Okay, and then the next thing is let's talk about twine and what you're going to use because we're not machine sewing it today. We're going to hand sew it, put it together, which this is actually the first time I've done this. I usually do machine sewing. And I thought this was really cool. And you're going to need, this is, from what I understand, a crochet needle. But you're going to need, this is very dull. And I saw somebody that I was inspired by with this video, like sit there and like really struggle to put this through. And I don't have that kind of strength. And with this chronic illness of mine, I need to make it simple. So that's where my little pokey tool comes in. I will poke it and all the way through the paper and the cover, and then I will then go ahead and string this through as you will see me do today. Okay, so this is the twine I chose. It is wax. It's from that $2 dollar bin at Hobby Lobby, and I like it because it slides through super nice. And I did it with a journal already, and I'll show you why I use this color. When we put in the twine, let me find a page with twine in the center of it. You see this? I'm not wanting something, I want it to blend in more than for me personally, than I do want it to show. So I use this color. And on this, in this particular one, I'm going to use this color. It even blends in a little bit more. However, you can use, that's why I pulled all these out, you can use whatever color you choose to use, wax, non-waxed, you know, so, and these are super cheap at Hobby Lobby in that, I think it's $1.99 bin, so yeah, $2. So that's what I wanted to show you that for. So what we're going to do now is we are going to set aside our signatures, and we are going to go over the measurements. I'm going to have y'all cut your, and you just only want to cut the top off and take your time because you want it nice and even, and you want to cut the bottom off just like you did the top. Okay, so if you guys want to stop and pause it, go ahead and do that now. Now we are going to open up our box. Pretend I have this side here still because I'm missing a piece here from cutting it. And we are going to take it to the, I think, a scoreboard, because remember I told you I like scoring everything because it helps me be more accurate with my horrible cutting skills and my blind eye. And we are going to take this, and the box is cut. Now when you do this, make sure that you push this all the way, because if you just go like this, it's going to be on a slant and you're not going to cut the appropriate measurements. Now again, if you do that, don't worry, it's not messed up. You're just going to either go back and trim some off, or you're going to add lace to something to make it extend. You know, it's always, this is the beauty of junk journaling. But in the meantime, just try to push your box down really nice and firm here like this, and then kind of lift that up and keep that there, keep your hand there. You see when I push out like this, it wants to push, it wants to go against me and push it out. So I don't do that all the way, all right? And we are going to score this at the 6 inches for the length, okay? Up and down 6 inches, score. And then we're going to flip it around, and it doesn't matter if your box is right side up or not, it's going to be covered, so it does not matter. And then we're going to go over here and make sure always to the left side, make sure that's in there really good. And we are going to take it and we are going to score this at the 9 mark. Okay, and use your scoreboard 6 by 9. And we are going to do that on both sides. You flip it over and you do the same thing, 6 by 9. And make sure before you do any cutting, because you know when we flip it over, it's going to be, you can, if you're not careful, you can do one end on this side and one end on this one. All right, and when you want to cut, you want to cut straight across. So just make sure that each side from the middle is 6 by 9. You see, because when I flip it up, this is my 6 by 9 right here. Not including this. I'm not including the spine. Okay? So here is 6 by 9. Okay, so now if you want to pause and go ahead and make sure that each side is 6 by 9, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and pause it and stop what I'm doing, and I'll be right back with you because I'm going to cut my cereal box down to size. I'll be right back. All right, now, so we all should have our cereal box, and it should look like this. Now you have your little book. Isn't that cute? I don't know, when I see things like this, it kind of excites me because it just makes it come to life. Like, wow, this is like, what we're going to do now is set our box aside, and we are going to need covers for the inside, which let me get, this is going to be good to have this. I'm glad I have this now. This is, when I say covers, we're going to have an outside cover here, an inside cover here, here, and a backside cover here. So what I need you guys to do is I need you to figure out in your paper packs, what do you want to have as your front cover? And take your time doing this. There's not a rush. Remember, this is a video, so you can pause it. You can take as long as you need. And I want you guys to have something you really love. And so if you notice, and I'll talk to you about this for a minute, I try to get things that they're proportional for some, for a particular reason. Like, I think that this was a better option than this one, okay? Because it like has a seam. This has a focal point here, right? But my back cover doesn't. It's just like ripped paper. See what I'm saying? So I hope that kind of makes sense to you. This makes sense to me. So, but first what we're going to do is we're going to cut the outside and inside covers. So for the measurements that I've been giving you, I need to go back over. Not sure if I gave you this or not already, but I want to fix it because I went ahead and remeasured. And now my outside cover is like so. And this is because the fabric is going to come meet it here. And if you notice where the fabric is, this is one way of doing this, just to let y'all know. This is not the only way to make a journal, but this is one way of doing it. And so where it met, I had it actually perfectly meeting here, but I still chose to put something over it because I don't like, for me personally, I don't like edges, raw edges. It has to blend in somehow. And I know that this is an edge here, but I don't know. It just works for me the way I did it. So that is why we don't do the entire front cover so that the fabric can come over in here to this. So if you want to know the exact measurements, the outside covers are going to measure 5.5 by 9. And the inside, which will be here for me, the inside cover will measure the whole inside of your front page without the spine, okay, just the front page. So if you find that your measurements are off from cutting or whatever, just do your inside cover, the ends that covers this entire inside front page of your book, okay? And that means that I have it like so. This covers the entire front page. And I will do the same thing with this one. So this measures 6 by 9. All right. So go ahead and cut out your front and your back covers after you've chosen them, and then we'll get back together. I'm going to go ahead and finish my last 2 pieces. Thank you. Be right back. Okay, now what I need y'all to do is I need you to get your cover. This is where we're gonna assemble everything together. I'm so excited. All right, so what I did, I pre-cut this. Now I don't anymore. I used to actually own a sewing studio with tons of notions and things, but I'm not set up here with a cutting mat to have this, you know, perfectly cut piece of fabric. However, you don't really need it because the person that I follow doing a video to make a junk journal, she just laid a piece of, you know, nice big piece over a fabric and just up each side without even judging, you know, like she just eyed it. So the reason why that is we're just going to take this. This is going to actually be glued on here, and then we're just going to snip it. And if we need to trim up the sides, we're going to do that as we go along. But, you know, what I did was I just kind of judged, you know, I knew that this was going to have to go over this a little bit to meet the paper, right, on the inside. So, and the inside cover, it covers all of it. So it's going to overlap the fabric a little bit. So I just went ahead and I did my best to, this is like what? This is kind of, let's get it the right side here. This is estimating about 3 and 2/4 to 3.5, close to there. I mean, it gets fatter as you go down here. It goes past the 3. So like I said, I'm just going to be trimming it as I go along. I'm going to keep this up here, and you'll see. Let's just do it together. So if whatever fabric that you want on the inside, I'm going to go to my book again. Let me pull my book over here so y'all can see what I'm talking about. This book is handy. I didn't really think I was going to need it for reference so much, but and here you will see that I have a piece of fabric, and I used light fabric this time, and it goes all the way over and under this paper a little bit, okay? And so we're talking about this much further did that go, did that come over here, and then I laid the paper over it on the crease. You see where that meets exactly on the crease, where the book would crease up, okay? So don't worry about being perfect at this point. We can fix anything that happens unless you cut something away. Sorry, I have to kick the stuff out from underneath my feet because I've got storage under here. And I'm going to now, so I'm going to use this. This is what I used last time. So again, remember I told you fabric to paper is okay, but fabric to fabric, I didn't care for this so much. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and really glue it up. I'm going to make sure that my edges are really good here. And really, 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 really glue it up good. Okay? And if I could find my spatula thing again, I don't like having hard lines. I would usually take like so. I don't know, there's something about me and hard lines. And then I go over it just a little bit because I know that fabric is going to go over the edge some. Okay. Again, remember, don't worry about messing it up. We will fix it. You comment me, private message me, and we will not worry about it, okay? Let me get my, see, I'm a painter too. Can you tell this cloth, this diaper cloth is so old, and I've washed this 10,000 times, probably, seriously. It just keeps on giving. All right, so here we go. And if you notice, I didn't even cut the, I forgot what this is called. I hate when my words don't come to me. I didn't fix my fabric. You know, when you make clothes and things like that, you have to fix your fabric a certain way. I did not do that. So I'm just going to lay this right on here. I got happy with the glue. Just like so. Okay, and this is why I'm going to need this white pencil because of the stark fabric, like I talked to you guys earlier. Once I got that done, I'm just going to, I flip it over and cut it from this side because I cannot cut blindly like I saw somebody else doing in this video. She's much better at it than I am cutting blindly. I have to see exactly where I'm cutting. Okay, that's one piece. And remember, if your box is a little off, it doesn't matter. We can fix it. You know, you decorate around it. You know, you see what's off. You need to cover up. You know, so you see this? It's got a lot of playroom over here. This does not. This is glued down more. So what I'll probably do, I'm going to show you what I mean by trimming it up, okay? So because I know that my paper is going to cover this right to the very edge, I'm just going to bring it in. And I'm going to add a little bit more glue on this side here. Make that go nice and down like so. And there it is. Okay. Now this is where we actually are going to put in our signatures. We don't do the outside first because if we did the outside, then how are we going to cover up the twine that comes through here? So this is a part where I don't measure exact everything. I kind of can tell where my center is this way, right? And what I did, because I followed somebody else, I took, because I like to know exactly my lines, I did take a pen on the light fabric, and I'm taking this chalk pencil or whatever, and I'm going to make my lines because this helps me judge the center better. And if you are not exactly on, it's absolutely fine. And I'm going to go ahead and where I know, wow, where I know that I don't want my signature going below. Okay, and that's just, I'm eyeing it. A lot of people can't craft this way. This is the way I do craft. The lady that I followed her video, this is the way she crafts. And it helps me loosen up and not be so uptight about what I'm doing. Okay, so now I need to sharpen this pencil. Give me 1 second here, guys. Okay, and I am going to now kind of just guesstimate based on, you know, my square there, where my center is. All right, actually, let me do this. Okay, and I am going to next mark where I would want, oh, I wish this kind of was uncovered, because under here you could see, you know, where I kind of just, where you're going to sew your signatures in. You know, you kind of do it from the top, you know, right below the top, and the middle, and then right above the bottom. Okay. And so in order for me to do that, I'm going to probably go here. I can always change my mind still yet, because it's not done. Remember that. Here and here, right? Well, that's my that's where I drew this line is where the bottom of my signature will probably land. This is going to help right here. Okay. So I know that my signature is going to land about here. So I want a sew line. I want to put a hole here. I'm going to want a hole here and a hole here. Okay, and that's how I guesstimate where my holes are going to be. Then I take my hole puncher. Where did I put this one here? I take this nice little hole puncher, and I will punch my holes. So make sure that this is where you want it. Now remember, you can't really mess it up. The one in the middle mainly is really important because that's where your doily might be, your folded envelope like this, you know, this one. So you see the twine is going right into here, okay, right into there. So you just want to make sure you catch that in the center. Here's my other one, here's this one, and here's this one, okay? So you can't really go wrong, guys. You know, so don't fret it really too much. And I'm going to go ahead and make my hole there, hole here, and a hole here. All right, so those are just pre-holes. They're not like, I'm still going to have to shove that dull needle through there, right? So now I'm going to take, I need my white pencil again, because now this is where I need to make the other holes based on these. Okay, so let's do this. I'm just going to eye it. There's, like I said, there's so many ways of doing this. So if I have, this is my center, right? And now I'm going to go kind of in the middle here again, here, here, and here. Go over here, do the same thing. Here, here, hold on, I want to bring it up a little, and here. All right. And so now I'm going to make my holes based on there. This is where you're really going to eye things, and you're really going to have to trust yourself. Make sure that your signatures are right side up. See my doily here? I always want to make sure I'm going to pierce that right. It's going to be pierced there. And my papers are straight. And this one, let me make sure I'm in order. This is my number 1. This is my number 2. And this is my number 3. Now, some people just do their number 1, but the way I put my signatures in before, I did this one with Rosa Kelly. We did it you know, the last one first. So I really don't think it matters. You know, maybe they just do this one so it's center. I don't know. I'm not really sure. All I know is, as you've seen in my journal, it worked out just absolutely fine. Okay. All right. So, and it's a junk journal, guys. Remember that. All right. So now I am going to make my holes. So I know that I don't want it passing here, right? I want to make sure that it's not going to go too far up and too far down. So I am going to, oh, you know what? Hold on. I forgot my clips. I'm going to pause this video and I'll be right back. I got to get my clips. All right, now I have my clips and I'm going to take my papers and just, you can try to get as perfect as you want with your papers. I'm just going to make sure I see some brown on the top and bottom. And so I don't want them to move when I'm making my holes here. All right, and now, and it's how you can see best, okay? You can kind of feel where you're poking through. All right, so I did one poke through, and you line it up best you can, and I did hit right on the spot, okay? And then I'm going to pull this back out, and I am going to get back on that hole, poke through, here and poke through here. Now, can you imagine trying to do this with a dull needle? Not me. I'll poke through the right side, right? Here and here, yep. And now I'm going to stick that back in there, line that back up. Okay, get back on my hole here. There's not a lot of talking to this particular part because it's more showing, okay? I would prefer not to do page by page. I just want to do, no, they're done. That part's done, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the next one, which would be the middle one. Make sure everything is in there correctly. My journal is right side up. There's a butterfly, so now I know he's right side up because this could go either way, this plume. Okay, and I'm going to open to the middle. It's not the middle. It's the middle. Line my papers up. Put a clip here. Put a clip here. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure that it's mostly even from the top to the bottom. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you don't want your signatures to be staggered. Now my first one, they were staggered, and it's okay. Nobody even knew the difference, and people love the journal anyways. So it really doesn't matter what other people love, but when it's a gift, I hope they love it. You know what I mean? So now I'm going to, I have to look because I made so many little white marks on here. I should have wiped off, you know, the little white chalk pencil. All right, so push in, through, and through. That's my first hole. See, all the way through. This is the part that, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I do differently than the person that inspired me to do this. Okay, and then through the center. Another hole's done. I will probably, I don't know if I'll speed up this part or not, because some people are going to be like, oh my gosh. I was, the first time I ever did this, I was like, okay, here goes nothing, all that cutting and everything I just did. You know, it's like, is this for real? Am I really doing this? Okay, so that's done. Now, I don't know where my third clip is, so I'm going to have to borrow a clip, and then we're going to make the holes for the last one. Okay, here's my center again. Let's clip. Clip. I'm going to still a clip on these other ones. And then I'm going to go and make a hole just like this. Okay. This is, like I said, one way. I just did a water folio and with a tutorial that Melody Huey posted for her. I'm not in her advanced group yet. I'm working on it. And I did it, did the water foil, and it was really cool because I actually made a book, a hardcover book. This is to me kind of like a hardcover, but it's, also, still flexible and perfect. This perfect. I'm glad I did this upside down, so you guys don't have to freak out because the box doesn't matter, right? Does that make sense to you? The box does not matter. Let me match my hole up so I don't have holes all over the place. The box does not matter what side up because we're going to cover it. But yeah, so my point in telling you that was there's so many different ways of doing these, and that's really interesting to me. I love that part. Go back, put this back in here, match it back up with the hole I just made, which is here, and then match it up with the last hole there, and go down here and do just that. Make my last hole. I'm lined up. Okay. All right. So now when my needle goes through, this hole is still a little smaller. This thing that made the hole, it's still smaller than what that big old dull needle is. But it's like a medium size needle. All right, so I'm going to do the first one I started with first, okay? And we are going to put some of your twine or whatever you decided to use for this. And we are going to go in the middle hole, okay? How long? I just put an extra long piece on here because I'd rather have more than than less. So I don't have to do it over again. So just like half a yard probably is on mine. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick this through here, okay, through this part. And we are going to go ahead and grab the middle hole on this far left side, which should be here. Yeah. See that it's just smaller than now. This could be a struggle pulling this through, but you got to get it through, right? And pull it through to how long we're going to need it. So and when I say that, what I mean is because we're going to need to leave enough to tie. Okay, so this is nice. Let's see, let's measure this just for the people who need it. Because when I first started doing everything, I was so nervous about doing anything. I needed exact measurements for everything. So this is about 7.5 inches long, this tail I'm leaving here, okay? And I'm going to turn this upside down because I'm a righty, right-handed, and so I like to control these nails that drive me crazy. Got these wedding nails on, right? And I am now going to go through the bottom. Go through the bottom. And then through all these here. And pull this through. Nice and snug. Okay. See how nice and snug that is? Nice and snug. And then I go back through the middle. And with me while I try to make a wider hole in here. There we go. Where are you? Okay. It'd be nice if I found the hole, right? And then, oops, sorry. I'm knocking things around. So you want to make sure it's still nice and snug on both sides, okay? And then we're going to come up through the top. That makes sense? So now we've got the bottom done, and now we're getting ready to do the top. Yay, we got our first signature almost done. I'm so excited. I love doing this. And as you see, I have more than enough, so you can judge by the next one what and I want to make sure these are nice and snug here, what you need, okay? And so let's go ahead and, I wish I could talk to you guys. So I go like this because you really need as tight as you can. If you have somebody there that can, you know, put their finger there while you do this part and tie it, that's great. If not, just keep practicing it until you can get it nice and snug, okay? Because we don't want those papers going anywhere, all right? And then we just snip, snip, take this off, take this off, and voila. This is where I like to use my bone folder. I knew where it was. Here we go. Okay, and so for now, that's our first one. How exciting is that? I'm so excited for you guys. All right, so let's do another one, and then I'm going to do the third one off camera because this video is going to probably be forever long, and I need to get more twine back on here. I hope this video is okay for you guys. Please leave a comment. I hope that it's very clear, you understand it. I'm not a video pro. I hope to grow and get better at this, but I'm just really thrilled to even think that I'm making journals with you guys. This is super fun. And this is great. So let me stick my glasses up off my eyeballs because I can't see far, so it kind of hinders everything. All right, here we go. Needle right side up, stick this through. That's kind of why I like this too, this waxy stuff, because usually, maybe not this time, I can flatten it and get it through faster. Don't do that. Come on, be nice. All right, I pulled it back out because these nails are mine. Let's try it again. Third time's a charm, right? Come on, be nice. I really do like this. It's my nails, guys. These nails are like my nemesis when it comes to this. There we go. All right. So I got enough. Let me go ahead and pull some of this back through the shorter piece because I don't want it that long. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to do our second signature now that we've successfully put in one. And I went ahead and rethreaded my needle, and I'm going to start with the middle maybe if I do this right. And we are going to go and find the middle hole, which should be just like so. And we're going to pull it through. Okay. And then that leaves me enough to tie. And then we're going to go back up through the bottom. Okay, make sure it's nice and snug, but don't pull too hard, just snug. And then we're going to go back through the middle. I can get it in there. Let's see what's making it so hard. Okay, I just had to get in the right spot exactly. With having that cloth there, don't catch it right. There you go. And then now we are going to take it back through the top, or take it up to the top. Get in the hole, and through it, and then through the paper. Isn't this wonderful? This is just going so smoothly. I love this. I'm really happy, and pull that through. Okay, so now you see how it's, see this is a little loose. This is a perfect example. I need to go back, and I need to start here, pull here, pull back through there, and just tug it through here. And now we have a nice snug pair of twine. So I'm going to take this off, and don't do what I just cut out of this video. I thought I had it nice, a tight knot, and I cut it and made my string too short, so I had to do this part over, but it's fine. Okay, so now this is where I'm going to try to get that tight knot, okay? And since I'm by myself, I don't have little fingers to help me like my kids or grandkids. I am going to do this best I can, right? That's all we can do, as best we can. They need to come out with something that's a little professional tie. See, to me, that's a little too loose. Let me see if I can, yeah, that's fine. Okay, maybe not. All right, so as I tie this super, super tight, I'm going to have to go back in here and loosen this. And while I work on this, you guys go ahead and do your third one because we just did two together. So you should be able to do your third one. And I'll be back and I'll have my third one done and I will have this one tied properly. Okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so we now have successfully put our, excuse me, mine's upside down. It's okay because I'm going to cover it. But we have successfully put our signatures in. So you guys should really feel accomplished and like thrilled to the bone right now. This is fantastic. So let's go ahead and go to the next stop and the next stop in this would. And now, first I want to let you guys know something. No matter what, this is going to be like this until you really decorate it, and it's going to get a little fatter in the middle. If you don't like the length of this to where, you know, how far I leave my edge, that's fine, because usually when I put laces and things on the corners here, you know, the edges, it's going to come out and cover that up anyway. So I like to do that. I like to have this much space in mine. So, you know, let's go ahead. I'm looking at this because it just feels a little weird to me, but it's fine. And I didn't do, I want to bend this, you know, so it sits right. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our, the front covers. We're going to put them in, and I'm talking about the cover for the front of this. So you're going to go to the edge. So remember, we cut these out to be a little shorter because the fabric on the outside is going to come to here and meet this. So make sure that when we glue this on, the front, this is your front cover now, so whatever your front piece is going to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use what I love to use, which is my glitter glue. If it's not clogged, I might have to unclog it, because I leave the lid off it all the time while I'm crafting, and this dries so fast that it creates a clog. That's why I don't use that cute little tip that they include when you purchase it. But this is my favorite glue of all times. You'll always hear me say that. And I'll have a link to these glues down at the bottom. I'm an affiliate with Amazon. And if you purchase through that, I get a little commission, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great thing that I get to share with you guys where I get my stuff. And I'll be affiliates of other things because there's things that I find cheaper than Amazon, other places, and I'll share that with you guys. So I am going to at some point become affiliate for the other things. But in the meantime, let's just stick with this. So how cool is that? That just is one more step, you know, when you put your cover on. Just one more piece of reality there. So let's go ahead and do the back. Let's go to the back, and remember to don't glue it to the back, glue it to the very front of your cover. If you find at this point that your cover is off, just take it. That's what happened with me because I'm hand cutting. Remember, I couldn't fit this into my cutter. And as much as I think I'm perfect at it, I'm not, and I know. So I had to trim up my sides because I knew this was perfect because I could fit this in my cutter. And so I had to go and hold this on there like that and trim up my edges. So if you have to do that, don't freak out. Just do it, you know. Do whatever it takes to trim it up and get it even. Let's go ahead and glue this one on here now. So I'm going to do this and get this going, and then I have to edit this video because I've had a couple bloopers in here. Sometimes when I'm giving direction, it doesn't sound so, straightforward, I guess. I don't know, understandable maybe. So I second guess myself. I'm always told I think too much. So there's the back, which that could be front cover also. Oh, look what I did. Perfect example of blender. Aha. Take it right off and turn it around. There you go. I'm so glad that happened. So you guys can see Misty fixing her mistake. And guess what? Say that wouldn't come off, it started ripping. Do you know what I would do? I'd cut another one and I'd glue it right on top of it. So there's always something you can do to fix something unless you actually cut something off. And, so I'm really getting thrilled with this. This is just wonderful. All right, so now we are going to, I like to kind of part the Red Sea. I like to do this. And, you can hold it like this too. I gotta get into the, make sure I'm upright here. And this is where we're going to take that other piece of material and, make sure it meets the sides here, where we're going to, we want to make sure we meet the sides. And we are going to take it now. A couple important things I need to point out to you. This one is actually, we want to leave it hanging over. We're not going to cut this, okay? Because we are going to take this after we glue this side and we are going to tuck this down in the space. Now, I don't have a lot of space like Rosa Kelly did when I was following her. So I don't tuck it down super far. I just do the tip and go around like that to meet the side. And so you'll glue that on the inside last. Okay, so do not cut this. All right. Now I have a super long piece here. I'll end up cutting it just so that I can have a little piece down in here. All right. So I keep saying all right, because I can't talk to you guys. I can't hear you. So let's go ahead and do that on camera here. So I am going to use this because this will stick to this part. And we are going to glue. If I can get this glue out. Is it dry? Oh, it's not wanting to come out. Give me 1 second here. Let's poke this. Let's see if that'll work. Come on, be nice. Be nice. So this is fabric, so I'm using one of the fabric glues. I do not want, we're gluing everything that is not paper. And then we're going to, we're gluing everything that is not that decorative paper. You want to make sure that you glue, all of this here. Mine is giving me a hard time, so don't think I'm like putting gobs and gobs and gobs. You would glue it. Now I'm going over and I am doing the edge of the paper because I want to make sure my fabric piece meets it and sticks to it, okay? There, and I'm going to go ahead and put one right on top of these twines. So when you see big flowers on the back and that kind of thing, that's because they're covering up the twine. Makes it beautiful. They get really creative. Like I can put lace. You can put anything you want back here, okay? So I am going to now make sure that I have enough to go over that. And I want to meet. Okay, so this is enough to go here, okay? So I have enough of that. So go ahead and really smash it in. You're going to feel that glue through here a little bit. Okay, this really needs to dry really good. And so when we cut the excess, we're going to cut away. We're not cutting right to it. We're going to leave some room for that fold in, okay? This is the great thing about this, because sewing versus sewing, just like sewing period, because in sewing you have to be so precise and everything. See my middle signature? I accidentally put it down too low, but that's okay, because once it's all said and done, it's not going to matter. So I'm even going to cut this a little shorter here, so when it folds up, and you're going to need clamps or something like that too. Hope y'all can see me doing this. Okay. That's awful. Look how I jagged that so badly. Let me just straighten that out, because for my own peace of mind. Let's see. See, this piece here is gonna, because I did that so low. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this side. This is where the clamps are gonna come in, because hang on, guys. The clamps are going to come in because this little piece is not going to want to stay there. I probably should have used my other glue, which I'm going to put right on top of that. This 3-in-1, because remember I talked about fabric to fabric? Come on. Why aren't you coming out now? Think I have glue problems today? Put a little strip here. Okay. And then fold this right up and under, like so. And I'm going to put a clip here. Boy, I got a lot of glue on there. And then I'm going to fold this up like so. I do have a lot of glue, guys. It's not too much glue, but it'd be better if it was less, so it's not all over my hands, right? And then I'm going to just wipe this glue off here. Am I the most graceful crafter? No, but I am the one that will get on here and show you how I do it, you know. And then result, people like it. They buy things from my store. They can appreciate, you know, me working really hard to bring a good quality product. And I like to have that middle one taper down a little bit more. Okay. So while that's drying, do the other side, which, so if I had done, you know, if I had more space, which Rosa Kelly, when she did hers, she had more space. I don't like a lot of space on the top and bottom of my books, but she tucks hers right in. I like to cut mine and just go right to where I need it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this again. So it's shorter, and I can just flip it right on top there. Hope y'all are enjoying this. I will be doing more. Eventually, I'm going to do one where we sew signatures. I just want to, you know, keep it basic, but keep, you know, learning different techniques. Can't wait till we do the ephemera. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love ephemera. God, this is so hard to squeeze this little bottle. Maybe I won't put so much glue on this one. I just can't hardly get none out of this guy. All right, and then let's go ahead and fold this one. Get a clamp. Fold that there. Fold this up. Now, if I wanted to, I could cut this, but my paper is going to come and cover it anyway, so I'm not even going to bother doing that extra step that's unnecessary as far as I'm concerned. You know, after you do this one time and you make another one, you may make changes, modifications, you know, because like I said, there's so many ways. Now, I could have pushed these up and tucked that under there. She does do that. Like I said, she leaves a longer space for fabric to come up here. I just don't like that, so I cut it short here and make this little lip. But that's, you know, whatever you choose. Either you're going to have a line here where you push the fabric up because, you know, we sewed, let's see, well, I have this now down, but you know, where we punch the hole through. I mean, so say you punched a hole through here, so you have this much space to actually flip this fabric around and push it up here. But now you're going to have a seam here. I'd rather have it at the bottom, have this itty bitty showing here, and have my cover that we're getting ready to put in here. Okay? Like this. See what I'm saying? So that's why I did it the way where is this coming from? Oh, this fabric is, I probably shouldn't have just sewed around it so it didn't unravel here. Now, you know, trick though too is if you ever have that happen and it's something that's a raw edge on your project and you're not able to cover it up like I'm getting ready to with this, glue, you know, stick a little bit of edge glue. If you can't sew it, you certainly can put glue on the edge of it and smear it in, and it will stop it from raveling. Fabric glue, that is, guys. And right now I am adding, we're going to put the inside covers on, so that's why I'm gluing this up here. You want the edges to be really nice down, so okay, I'm going to flip this up for a second. And I'm going to stick this here. And I'm going to clamp this back down as soon as I get this page on here how I want it. See how that's working? And I'm going to clamp this down because I want this to be nice and flat, and I want that fabric to stay nice and flat. Okay, move that back over. Make sure you're lined up all the way around here really good. The other one I did, I had to, because I didn't come all the way very good with the edge, I had to take clamps and put it here on the edges. I don't have to do that with this one, but you check around, it should look as one piece. Okay. And this is not glue or anything, that is part of the fabric, the color, if you're seeing that, by the way. All right, and then come back over here and do the same thing. Get your inside piece. All right, I'm going to glue it up before I take these clamps off. I hope you all are enjoying this video. If you like it, please make sure you leave a comment, share it with your friends. There's a lot of people out there that are just, you know, too intimidated or shy, embarrassed for some reason to say, I don't know how to do this and I'd really want to do it, but they're afraid people don't have the time or patience. Well, I'm no pro, but I'm willing to grow with you and do this together, learn things together. I have a lot of friends on YouTube that inspire me, and I watch their videos no matter what. I never will stop learning. That's one thing I do know. I'm going to take these off now. Now remember, I'm going to reiterate again, this is only one way of doing it, okay? This is not the only way. This may not even be your favorite way, but you'll get a basis, a foundation. My next journal is going to be done completely different. It's actually a special order. I'm super excited. I got a special order today from a woman in Australia. And I'm super, super stoked to create something for her. She likes my work. And she's seen it. She's seen my file holders. She saw my Etsy store. She saw my new website I'm building. It's built actually, but it's auniquetreasure.shop or auniquetreasure.com. I bought both domains so that people wouldn't get confused. Okay, so guess what, y'all? Look what you just did. And now this is where you'll decide, and see, it's right now it's still on drying, but I'm going to take this off for the sake of talking to y'all. This is where you will decide some decorations for yourself. So of course, that's why I'm not so worried about this being straight, right? Because I'm going to come back and we're going to do things and decorate it. This is the video until next week. Ta-da, look at that. How exciting is this? Really, seriously, this is such a big deal. I am so happy for y'all, inspired. I just hope that this made you happy. I hope this is what you really want to accomplish coming here. We're not done by far. We're going to decorate. We're going to do some techniques together. We're going to make this fat so these pages bulk up and, come together. So of course, bring your own laces, your own trims, your own stuff. We're going to just do some things together in the next few videos to make our, the beautification process and ideas and techniques. So really, if you like this, please tell me. If you'd like to see something in particular with some ephemera, please tell me. Comment below. It really helps me out when I know if I'm doing a good job for you guys. And again, I'm so stoked. Have a nice evening. God bless you. Bye now.